we raised a couple of questions on the last workshop around, okay, let's have a look at the two key questions on top teams. And one of them was, how well does the team work together? What's the relationships in the team like? The second question was all around, okay, well, how well are we delivering our promise and adding value? And we asked you to reflect for a moment on those questions. Let's take a moment to dig a little deeper into those questions while we're here. When we're running a workshop, we have an online questionnaire where we capture the thoughts of the members, and we do this objectively. But maybe just on this session, we can, you can use the model and you can use it intuitively and think, well, where would I put my team? So the first questions are around the relationships in your team. How well do your team work together? Things like, how do you manage conflict? What's the levels of trust like? What's the communication like? How well do people respect each other and give each other space to challenge? So relationship-based problems. And the second area is all about deliverables. How well do we deliver our promise, deliver our strategy? How aligned are we? How strong are we at adding value to our organization? And those two key elements come together onto this model here. And as you'll see that there are 4 boxes, and let me try and explain a little bit about each box. So the first box is called weak. And I don't think many teams would like to be in the weak box. We have encountered on occasions leaders who've pointed to that with some amusement or embarrassment and said, yeah, that's us. I remember one delegate who turned up and said, yeah, that's us, all right. We don't like each other and we don't know what we're doing. We couldn't run a bath, was his observation. I hope that's not you. The only way was up as far as that workshop was concerned. Then we have sociable teams. But sociable teams are great. They're very warm. They know each other really well. They connect outside of work and inside of work. You'll find teams that have lunch together. They'll go to barbecues together. They do lots of work on personality and preference and like to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And there's a whole discussion around preference and approach and style. So there's a really rich form of connection in the team. The only trouble is they don't necessarily do very much from an organisational perspective, and they spend a lot of their time in investing in themselves, but not in the organisation and what deliverables they're about. And those teams are not really that useful to an organisation, although they have a lot of fun for the wages they earn, I guess. Tough teams, they exist as probably tough teams are defined where it's all about the work. Deliver, hurry up, move faster. So when a project is started, they launch quickly. There's challenging targets, lots of discussion about how well you're doing, lots of pressure to perform, lots of conversations. But in the middle of that, the relationships get lost. Quite commonly, even at the beginning of the team, there's no investment in how well we're working together. And that pressure can build, and it means you're missing a trick. They don't work as well as they should. And one of the questions we've got is, okay, how do we pull those teams who are quite tough back and say, look, it is worth investing in the relationships here. Both those things are important. Which leads to the powerful box. It's our fundamental belief that powerful teams are obviously the best place to be. Teams that get that unique combination of we know what we're doing, we're delivering well, but also we invest in ourselves, we invest in understanding our relationships. And that's the challenge for us. So as you reflect on your teams, where would you put yourself? Are you weak? Let's hope not. Sociable? Hope not to. Too tough? Hope not. Maybe powerful. That's the challenge. What have you got to do to get there? And what we'll do on future workshops is look at some of the components which we recommend to move you down that journey. Good, happy thinking.